This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven son. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching or participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Phatts TV on this Wednesday night, October the 6th. Joining me, as always, in the upper left-hand portion of the screen, coming to you from his underground bunker deep in the heart of Center County, Pennsylvania, the one, the only, non-genetically proven son. How's it going?
It's going.
You were out on the disc golf course this afternoon. We had to push back the show an hour because you had a late tee time.
No, I have class until a time, and I couldn't get out till 4:30. Well, I can't make it back here by 7.
Oh, you only had one class today, though, right?
I did.
So you could have had an earlier tea time, right?
I had projects and stuff to write.
Well, at least, hey, you're putting school first. Who would have thunk?
I have to do an 8-hour time lapse, and I was working on that.
Good job.
I had a research paper that's due.
An 8-hour time lapse. I'm assuming you're not doing it on the masturbation tendencies of the African tsetse fly.
No.
No.
I can't say I am.
All right, then. So welcome to October, my favorite month of the year. Why is it my favorite month of the year? Well, I'm a big Halloween fan, of course. Love, college football is in full gear now in the month of October. The air gets a little crisper at night, so that means the ladies get a little hard in the nipples area. We like that too. Yeah, you like that too up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping you say yes. I'd have to start wondering about you. Yes. So, you were at a football game last Saturday doing your work for the Blue Band.
I was.
I'm very disappointed in you.
Why?
You were literally probably about 10 to 12 feet away from Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and you didn't get a picture.
10 to 12 feet? Where?
Yes.
When?
At the first touchdown.
I was not 10 to 12 feet. I was probably about 30 to 40.
Oh, not a chance. Not a chance. She was halfway at the end zone, so she's 5 yards deep in the end zone. Or you're going to tell me you're double the space from the end zone? No, not a chance.
I was about 5 yards behind the end zone.
Right. So you're 10 yards? All right, so 30 feet. Fine. Maybe. I doubt it, though. And it doesn't matter. 30 feet, that's 7 steps, and you couldn't get a picture.
And probably about 30 people.
And you couldn't get a picture.
So I never saw her.
I'm very disappointed in you.
Oh, whatever.
Adam Cole, baby. She's dating Adam Cole, and you couldn't get a picture.
Really? She's dating Adam Cole?
Yes.
That would have been cool if Adam Cole was there.
Oh, so you would have rathered a picture with Adam Cole than Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Maybe I am. Maybe I should wonder about you.
I can't say I've ever watched Dr. Britt Baker wrestle.
She's got boobs. Adam Cole doesn't. That's all that needs to be said.
Fair.
Oh, for crying out loud. So, little dominant performance by the Penn State defense.
A little.
Shutout.
If they don't step up, that game is probably a little too close for comfort. Because they went for it on 4th and 1 from the 3. Didn't get it. They tried to kick a field goal, blocked. They did stop us on the 2nd and goal. But we play very, very vanilla football. Because a lot of people were saying, why are we playing so bad? I'm like, we're not playing bad. We're just not trying to do anything special. We get the game over, get a rest going. Let's worry about Iowa.
It was a very typical Penn State offensive performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're not like, for you old timers going back to the 90s, the Kerry Collins led teams that were averaging, 45, 48 points a game. Just for some reason, Penn State does not have the ability to do that week after week after week, probably because their offensive line is probably the weak spot of their team.
It's average, yeah. And then our defensive line is arguably the best in the country.
Yes. So, they go into Kinnick Stadium, however you pronounce it.
Well, they're 10-5 all time, by the way.
To play the Iowa Hawkeyes. So it's a top 5 matchup. Now we catch a break. It's not a night game.
Yeah.
It's a 4 o'clock Eastern game. Still, I will be in a bowling center, so hopefully I could watch much of it as I can. Hopefully.
I'll probably be on my couch already somewhat drunk.
Probably.
Screaming at TV.
Probably.
Just right before kickoff, we're going to play Thunderstruck. If you don't know what that is, look it up.
It's a song by AC/DC.
Well, there's a game to it, a drinking game. That last time we played it, I got screwed. Let's just say I finished 3 beers in about 90 seconds.
Oh.
So
Wonderful.
I did not feel great after that.
Wonderful. It's a lot of beer.
I didn't have another beer for the rest of the second half.
Was it birch or root or white or?
It was Red's Apple Ale.
Oh, nah, that's pussy beer anyway.
Oh, it's higher percentage than freaking Miller Lite.
That's piss beer.
Exactly.
I mean, let's go for a good German beer, Molson Ice or something like that. True. True.
I gotta get what I can afford.
All right, so let's just say right now, neither of us have the Penn State-Iowa game in our Phantastic Five.
We do not.
I know we were both a little surprised when the line opened up at 2.5.
We were. Especially me, because I predicted about 6.5.
Yes, and I said it would be around 4. So we were a little off. The line, according to pregame.com, the line did go down to 1.5. And right now on Barstool, which is the site we use for our official lines that we use for the Phatts Phantastic 5, it's sitting at 2. There are some other sites where it's back up to 2.5. At least as of the last time I checked last night. I haven't checked them today. Because I was focusing on making my picks for the Phatts Phantastic 5 today. So, one of the interesting things that I saw for this game is there was some analytics done on the Iowa's offense.
Okay.
And if you take out all of their scoring drives, which they've had a bunch, but if you take them out, on their non-scoring drives, they average less than 9 yards per drive. So they don't even average picking up a first down. So, score 1 for the Penn State defense. For sure.
And Penn State's defense is definitely the best Iowa is going to see.
Oh, yeah. And the Iowa defense is... Go ahead.
And the next best is probably Iowa State, and we all know the Big 12 doesn't play defense.
Right.
So.
And, well, at least up until this moment, that's
right
going to be
now,
the best that they've seen. You know. Let's also admit this will be the best defense Penn State has seen.
Arguable, in my opinion.
So Iowa is the number 2 scoring defense in the nation.
Okay.
Penn State's the number 3 scoring defense in the nation.
So, in my opinion, I think this is the best pass defense Penn State has seen. Not run defense. I would say Wisconsin was probably a better run defense at the time. They don't look very good anymore.
They don't.
But Auburn is also comparable run defense.
Mm-hmm.
We did not run the ball very well in Auburn. But you could also go and say, well, Penn State's played quality competition. Iowa,
Yeah.
they played Iowa State. That's about it, though.
Hello, Kiana.
And they had a scare against some FCS school like a few weeks ago.
So, I'm not really concerned about this game. I'm okay if they lose this game.
Yeah.
Personally, I think they're going to lose this game. Personally. I will be...
They're going to lose a game, which is inevitable for Penn State.
Well, if they lose a game, this is the one you want them to lose.
If we want a chance at the playoffs, yeah.
Yes, because they have to run the table in the East. And let's face it, the Eastern Division is so much superior to the Western Division.
Yeah, you got, I'd say out of all the teams, let's take out Iowa, for example. Just take out Iowa. Every other team in the East could probably beat every other team in the West.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, we just saw... Nebraska put up 52 on Northwestern.
Okay. Let's see what Michigan does this week against Nebraska.
Right. But what I'm saying is, I think Nebraska, Maryland... I'm not sure Maryland could beat Nebraska, or Maryland could beat Wisconsin.
Okay, on a good day, all these, especially the top four right now, which is Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State, where they take out Iowa, could beat every one of those teams.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Rutgers could beat a bunch of them, Indiana could beat a bunch of them, and Maryland could probably also beat it.
It's this simple. For Penn State to make the playoffs, they have to run the table in the East.
Yeah. And then win the Big Ten.
And then win... Well, let's not quite go that far yet. If they lose to Iowa, obviously they would have to beat Iowa, assuming Iowa makes it to the Big Ten championship game. Which I think they will. They're by far the superior team. But the superior team doesn't win every college football game.
True.
I mean, that's just the way it is. And that's why I'm all right if they lose this week, because I don't know if they could beat Iowa twice. I like it. I like it for, especially for betting purposes, taking the team who lost the first game when they meet again. Now, obviously, teams don't meet twice in a season in college football all that often. It's just the same thing for Georgia. I mean, I know you and I both feel that Georgia is the best college football team in the nation. I mean, it's Alabama, it's Georgia, and it's everybody else.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I'm hard pressed to find a team that on a neutral field that Georgia and Alabama would not be double-digit favorites against. I mean, Iowa in the AP poll and the coaches poll, Iowa is number 3, right? You're going to tell me that on a neutral field that they would be less than a 10-point underdog to Alabama and Georgia? No, they wouldn't be.
Not when Alabama's an 18-point favorite this week at Texas A&M.
Right, and Georgia, on Barstool, as of 45 minutes ago, they're a 15-point favorite at Auburn.
And they were an 18-point favorite last week against the top 10 Arkansas team.
Right, and they shut them out.
And they covered that with ease.
Yes. I mean,
with a backup quarterback.
With a backup quarterback. I mean, so if Penn State faced either of them, they're probably an 18-point underdog on a neutral field, maybe even more.
Yeah, I'd put them around 20, to be honest. I mean, our defense I would take Penn State probably in the first half of Penn State, Alabama.
I wouldn't. I would not.
I don't know. I think we can hold out for a little bit.
Yeah, a drive.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, to be honest. I think whoever makes the playoffs at 3 and 4, because I think Alabama and Georgia are our locks for 1-2. it doesn't matter.
Yes. Well, so here's my point. So if you're a Georgia fan, do you really want Georgia to beat Alabama in the SEC championship game?
Not realistically, because you're going to make the playoffs.
And you're going to face them again.
And you're going to have one of Iowa, Penn State probably in the playoffs. One of them. And you could have a number of Penn State, Cincinnati, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan. But they'll beat all of them.
If Penn State wins this week, I don't think they're nearly a shoo-in to make the playoffs. I don't think that at all.
I think Iowa should be able. I think they should be able, as long as they win this week, make it to the Big Ten title game undefeated.
Should be. Well, they'll certainly be favored in all the rest of their games. Let's look at their schedule quick.
Well, let's just say Penn State wins this week. Penn State loses to Ohio State. That also puts in the possibility of putting Cincinnati in the playoffs. Actually,
I don't think Cincinnati makes the playoffs.
No, they probably don't.
So
I think they'll be finishing probably 5 or 6.
So I mean, Iowa has a pretty tough schedule. They have Penn State this week, then they have Purdue at home, at Wisconsin, at Northwestern, home against Minnesota, home against Illinois, at Nebraska. Yeah, that's a really tough schedule.
They're going to be double-digit favorites in all of those.
They will not be double-digit favorites at Wisconsin. I know Wisconsin sucks right now, unless Wisconsin's backup quarterback is playing.
Touchdown favorite. Because Mertz is really good.
Right,
Clifton is better than Mertz.
But you're still going on the road to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And let's just say Iowa only beats Penn State by 2 points Saturday.
If they win, it's between 1 and 3. I'll tell you that now.
So let's just say it's 2 points this Saturday. Penn State went into Wisconsin and won by 3. Was it?
6.
6?
16 to 10.
6. Right. So I don't think they're a double-digit favorite at Wisconsin.
Okay.
Are they favored? Yes, absolutely. Double digits, 6 to 7 would be my guess. But what do I know? But everybody else, yeah, they're a double-digit favorite to everybody else. Penn State, on the other hand, they still have to win in Ohio State. Let's remember, James.
And Michigan State.
Yeah, but Michigan State really hasn't played. I mean, yeah, they went to Miami and whooped up on Miami, but other than that, they haven't.
Yeah, but they still look. half
decent.
decent.
Let's see what happens when Michigan State plays Michigan and Ohio State.
Let's just remember, we picked Michigan State to finish last in the East.
Did we?
I'm pretty sure I did, along with Maryland and Rutgers.
Yes.
And they look a lot better than Maryland and Rutgers.
Well, yes, they do. Well, we'll find out this week because they play Rutgers at Rutgers. So we'll find out.
Yeah, we still have to go to Ohio State and win, and we can't write that off because we've only ever done it twice.
Right. And James Franklin is 1-6 all time against Ohio State, and that one win was only basically because of a blocked field goal return for a touchdown.
It certainly wasn't a James Franklin masterclass. It was the special team stepping up in that second half.
Right. Yes. So at some point, and we talked about this last week when we both had Rutgers in our Phatts Phantastic Five, at some point, Ohio State's going to turn that corner and become the Ohio State that we all know and despise. Right. And that may have happened last week. They whooped Rutgers last week. So now they've played 2 games in a row where they've scored more than 50 points. Now, granted, the first one was it Toledo or Akron? So, you would expect to score 50 points unless you're Penn State. They would only put up about 30 against Akron because that's what James Franklin does.
Wins 30-7.
Yes. But they went into Rutgers. Now, granted, they were up 14-0 before the people sat in their seats, basically.
Yeah, I think that was part of it.
Sure. Oh, it absolutely was part of it. Absolutely.
All of a sudden, Rutgers is down 21-0, and it's like, well,
Yes.
We ain't winning this game.
Right. But if it's, now they play Maryland now at home, and if the final score is like 55-13, let's say, the spread's 21, last I checked.
It is.
Then you got to start to think, hey, is the Ohio State that we all can't stand back? If they are, I don't know if Penn State could go in there and win. We'll find out. I hope they do, but I don't know if they can.
Before Penn State will be very telling. They play Indiana at home. Indiana away, my bad. So they're at Indiana. I think that game could be close within, some could say. Last year, Indiana kept it really close. And I would say Ohio State was better last year.
They were, but so was Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana was a lot better last year.
Let's admit they were a lot better.
If Ohio State goes into Indiana and scores 50, then I'd be worried. We're gonna play them close. We always do.
Usually.
But last year, throw it in the trash.
Yes.
So it's just that one's gonna be just like Iowa. You're gonna have to win it at the line and go from there. Because their offense is obviously better than ours. No crap. But we have at least one really good wide receiver.
We do.
He's
probably the best in the nation.
I'd say he's arguably the best in the nation.
I mean, Mel Kiper has him as the number one wide receiver coming out this year. Right now. 8th best player overall.
He's the 4th highest rated one, but I think two of the wide receivers were on like meh teams.
Right.
The other was on Kentucky, and Kentucky run by Will Levis.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's
Penn State quarterback?
Who's in the top? They're in the top 20. No, top 20. They're definitely. They're for sure in the top 25. I think they're in the top 20.
They're 16 because they went. They beat Florida.
Oh yeah. So. Since we have a little bit of time, let's go through the schedule. And since I know who we both have in the Phantastic Five this week, let's look at some games, kind of like what they do on ESPN. Let's go through some games and just pick who we think wins with the spread.
Against the spread.
Against the spread.
Oh,
I mean, we'll certainly pick straight up as well.
Okay.
But against the spread. So. And these are just going to be random games of what I think is important. So let's start Friday night, Arizona at home, or Arizona State at home against Stanford, given 12.5.
I like Stanford to cover that.
Me too.
I like Arizona State to win the game. I feel like Stanford coming off somewhat of a controversial win against Oregon. I think it'll be somewhat of a letdown.
Controversial that's an understatement. With 2 minutes to go, they had a 0.1% chance of winning that game. And then there was 3 defensive questionable calls on Oregon. Now I know you didn't get a chance to watch that game.
I saw the highlights. I did not get to see that whole game.
I watched that game. I mean, at least that I definitely watched that drive. I didn't watch the entire game. But I caught that drive, and yeah, definitely the pass interference on the last play of the game, which extended the game by 1 play, which Stanford ended up scoring. To me, that was not pass interference at all. At all. Arkansas coming off their drubbing with Georgia, going on the road to Ole Miss, getting 6 points. Ole Miss just got drubbed by Alabama last week.
I kind of like Ole Miss to win and to cover that.
Okay.
They didn't, except for early. They put up points on Alabama.
They did.
I think Arkansas is extremely overrated. They got an easy start to the season, got to the top 10, then they faced quality opponent and got railed.
Yeah.
So I like Ole Miss in this.
What set the tone in that Alabama game was Ole Miss got the ball first and they drove down to the goal line and didn't score.
Yeah,
that kind of, which I was going to play the under because it was at like 78 or 79 points.
Jesus.
Well, they did score like 190 last year in that game. It was all like the over under last year was like around 70, 72, and like it was at 60 some at halftime.
I remember you talking about that they always score a lot of points.
Yes.
In Alabama.
Yes. Well, I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to call for the upset in that game. I'm going to take Arkansas.
Okay.
I think they're going to find old, it's kind of like, let's say you are facing, you're playing, where the Masters plays, the golf tournament. Augusta National. And then you go to the next day you just play a regular, public 18-hole golf course.
Yeah.
That's what it's like playing Georgia's defense to Ole Miss's defense. You're not going to score well if you've never, if you're like a golfer like you're decent. You're still a beginner. You've been playing for like 4 years now. Yeah. But you're not going to go shoot 80 at Augusta.
No, I'd be pretty happy if I shot anywhere near 100.
Yeah. And then you go and you play Manor down by my house.
I'd be pretty mad if I didn't break 80.
Right.
Because the course a lot shorter.
That's kind of what it's like playing Georgia's defense. So I'm going with the outright upset there. The Red River rivalry. Oklahoma, Texas. It's on a neutral field, like it is every year. Oklahoma, a 3.5 point favorite over Texas.
I like Texas to cover that one.
Okay.
Don't know who I like to win the game. Kind of in the middle. I feel like Oklahoma will get it done late, but Texas will cover.
Okay. I'm going to go with the upset here, too.
I was on the line, so...
Oklahoma either blows Texas out or Texas finds a way to lose a close game, usually, against Oklahoma. That's how it typically works.
Okay.
But I'm going to say this year, it's going to be different. Oklahoma has not really played a great game yet.
They have not.
So, I'm saying they're going down this week. I want to save the best game for last. Number 2, Georgia laying 15 at number 18, Auburn.
Georgia's going to win. Georgia's going to cover.
I agree.
Penn State put up 28 on Auburn, and Georgia is a lot better. So I think Georgia should be able to cover that.
Forced prediction. How many points does Auburn score? Over, under 10.
I was going to say no more than 13, so I'll say under.
I'll say under as well. Georgia's defense has given up 1 touchdown so far.
And I don't think Auburn's offense was all that impressive. I got to watch them live. It looked like they can run the ball well, but that was also on Penn State's defense, not Georgia's defense.
Yes. Let's go with a Big Ten game here. Wisconsin on the road laying 10 against Illinois.
I hated that game when I saw it. Illinois is so bad too, but so is Wisconsin. I'll say Wisconsin will win the game and they'll cover. They'll figure out a way to cover. They'll cover late. They'll cover.
Wisconsin wins. Illinois covers. Weren't we at a college tournament when Illinois beat Wisconsin in overtime or something?
Yeah,
or
we were, because we were all cheering.
Yes.
That helped us in the rankings.
Yes. At Barstool, line change. Iowa -1.5 over Penn State. since we didn't really get your prediction on this game. Are you you go to Penn State? I'm shocked you're not wearing a Penn State shirt because I thought that's the only shirt you own. Because like every time I basically see you, you're in a Penn State shirt. You must have stole that off of a homeless guy or a hooker or something.
This was my working shirt over the summer.
Got ya.
It's the shirt I sleep in or relax in.
Got ya. So, are you going against your school?
I don't like this line at all because I think whoever wins is winning by either 1, 2, or 3.
Okay.
I don't know if Penn State can score enough points. The whole week I was like, first team to 21 wins. Can Penn State get to 21? I'll say Iowa wins, Penn State covers.
So basically, Iowa wins by a point. If we're using 1.5.
Pretty much. I think it comes either to Iowa gets a late field goal, or Penn State needs to score, and they don't.
Okay. I will take Iowa to win and cover. Only because I still think it helps Penn State to lose this game because they will know then that they have to run the table to make the playoffs. It will focus them more.
True.
So over under 41. I'll force you to make a prediction. 41 is low for college football.
Under.
You still like the under.
I still like the under because at 21-20 gives me the push. So
yeah.
And I don't think it gets over that.
Okay.
The only way I think it gets over that is if one of those teams scores 30-something themselves and just blows the other team out.
Got ya.
So like 30-something to 10.
Got ya.
Which I think is possible, but it's not going to happen.
I like the under 2. If the game goes over, it's because Iowa has done what Iowa has done all year, and that's returned interceptions for touchdowns. If they get 2, let's just say.
They will not get 2.
I don't think they get any, but I'm just saying.
Because we've done actually a fairly good job of protecting the ball.
Yeah. Well, we have. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So you like Iowa to win the game, but Penn State to cover. So Iowa basically has to win by a point. Boy, are you ever like giving yourself a slim margin of victory?
I just think it's 1, 2, or 3. I wouldn't bet it at 1.5. I'd never touch it at 1.5. I only would have took it at 2.5 because then I cover every one but 3.
Right. Yes. At 1.5, if you're going to bet the game, you're betting the money line on the game.
Yeah.
People who listen to the show would say, well, why not tease it? Why not tease it?
You don't bet college. You don't tease college.
You do
football.
not tease college football. That is correct. That is correct. Oh, let's see here. Any thoughts on TCU? A road favorite by 1.5 over Texas Tech?
Texas Tech just went into West Virginia last week and won.
Yes. TCU played Texas, I believe.
No, I don't have an opinion.
Okay. Da-da-da-da. LSU plus 3.5 going into number 16 ranked Kentucky.
Well, since LSU just lost to Auburn in Death Valley, I'll pick Kentucky's going to win the game and they're going to cover.
I agree. Kentucky just beat Florida last week.
It did.
So that's my only concern and why I won't bet this game. Because you're probably paying a premium now. I will guarantee you if there was a look-ahead line to this game earlier, like even last week, like let's say this time last week, it's not 3.5. I bet it's closer to pick. You're playing a premium because LSU lost at home and Kentucky just beat Florida. So that, without a doubt, moves the line in this game.
Right.
So if you like Kentucky, you basically can't bet this because you should have bet it last week.
Yeah.
on a look ahead, if you can find a book other than in Vegas that has look ahead lines. Notre Dame, a 1-point favorite going into Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech covers. Virginia Tech wins.
Notre Dame wins.
Tech's gonna figure out how to win.
Alabama, 18-point road favorite at Texas A&M.
Alabama will cover.
Agreed. Earlier in the season, I may have disagreed. I would have disagreed.
Yeah, because you liked A&M to possibly win that game.
I did. All right, one last game. The game of the year. Force prediction. UConn going on the road. Winless UConn. Going on the road to UMass. Winless UMass. As a 3.5-point favorite. UConn is a road what? You gotta be kidding me. UConn is a road favorite over UMass.
Oh, boy.
This will be one team's first win since, I think, 2019. Well, I know UMass didn't win last year. I think they only played 1 or 2 games last year. And it was like week 6 or something that they played their first game, and I bet that game because they were only catching like 30 points against a team that had played like 5 or 6 games. So I said, there's no chance that score stays close, and I ended up winning that game.
This is a tough one to pick.
Force prediction.
UMass is going to get the win. They're going to cover.
Well, obviously, if they get the win, they're going to cover.
UMass is going to get the win. They just looking very quickly at the statistics,
Yep.
they can at least pass the ball. UConn doesn't. God, they both give up so many yards. They both give up almost 500 yards a game.
So you know the final score is going to be 7-6.
UMass is going to get the win.
He's taking UMass. He's taking the home.
Penn State plays UMass in like 3 years at the end of the season. We play like Ohio State, Michigan State, and Iowa in like 4 straight games, and then we play UMass after that.
Gaia.
So at least after going, 2-2 or 3-1, we get a nice easy win that will win, 13-0.
Yeah. So looking at UConn lost to Holy Cross, lost to Purdue, lost to Army, lost to Wyoming, lost to Vanderbilt. The last 2 games, though, they only lost by a combined 4 points.
Wow.
UMass lost to Pitt, lost to Boston College, lost to Eastern Michigan, lost to Coastal Carolina, lost to Toledo. They lost their games by 44, 17, 14, 50, and 38. Yeah. On October 26th, whatever year that was, UConn beat UMass 56-35. That's probably a good game. Probably a good game to watch.
Yeah, sure.
I'll take UConn.
Are you going to cover?
Oh, yes. Not only will they cover, they'll win by at least a touchdown.
A touchdown.
Yes.
Did you see your super senior team lost last week?
My super senior team?
Fresno.
Did they? Oh, yeah, they did.
Went
Yeah.
to Hawaii and got an L.
Yeah, well, that happens.
Hawaii? Come on. Hawaii? Come on.
So, in the pros this week, a lot of good games.
There's a lot of good games.
Great. This is a great week to watch football. And of course, as usual,
Guess who gets to watch football?
Not me.
Me.
I will be running helping to run a damn bowling tournament. Which
I get to sit on my butt, have alcohol, and watch football.
What a week. I prayed that the bowling tournament would get canceled. And it almost did because the bowling center closed. Just out of the blue. Hey, we're closed.
Yeah.
But they found another one to have it, which is only 15 minutes away. So.
Yeah.
Ugh. So, tomorrow night's game is a great game.
It has the potential to be.
This game almost made my Phantastic Five.
I didn't even look at this game. I don't like it.
Almost. The Rams on the road, 2.5 over Seattle. It was close.
I don't like this game.
Close. I like the Rams tomorrow to bounce back.
If you made me choose, I'd like the Rams because of that bounce back. But the Seahawks are so unpredictable.
They are.
They could win this game by 10. They could lose it by 20.
It'll be loud there. But the Seahawks just aren't the same as they used to be defensive-wise. There's a lot of rumblings going on. You know, the quarterback's not the happiest. Not Aaron Rodgers unhappy. But, yeah. What are some other kind of good games that neither of us have? Hey, that Green Bay-Cincy game could be a really good game. Green Bay on the road as a 3-point favorite.
That's a game that I like. It's in my extras. I like Green Bay.
Oh. It made your big board.
It made my board, yeah.
He throws out these terms before the show. It's on my big board.
No, it's on my board. It's all I said.
Yeah, it's on your board, all right. Where's this board?
My phone. Because in my notes, I type out every game that I like, and I try to stick with my gut and pick with the first 5 that I liked. Because I'll look through it at least once or twice each college and pro, and I'll pick 4 or 5 games that I like, and then I go back through and pick more games. I usually try to stick with the original ones that caught my eye.
So you like Green Bay in this game? Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah, I like them giving the 3. I think offensively they're a lot better.
I like Cincy in this game.
You go like Cincy.
I do.
You go like Joe Burrow.
I do. I do.
Cincy has beaten the Jaguars, the Bengals, and the Vikings. And they lost to the Bears. So they beat 2 pushover teams and got lucky to beat the Vikings.
Yeah, okay.
Granted, the Packers lost. Would they lose 38-3 in week 1?
Yeah.
And they beat the Lions and the Steelers, pushover teams, and they beat the 49ers. That was a good win.
So the big game this weekend, and neither of us took it, was Buffalo going into Kansas City, getting 2.5 currently. 2.5.
I don't like that game either.
That's a tough line at 2.5.
I don't like that game. I still don't think the Bills are ready, though. Kansas City, for some reason, just doesn't look that great. Their
Not yet.
Is very slow.
Yeah.
Buffalo, they're putting up points. They beat the Dolphins 35-0, beat Washington 43-21. They beat the Texans 40-0.
Yeah.
So just those would tell you, take the Bills. You're getting points. But you still have Patrick Mahomes on the sideline.
They put up over 40 last week.
I don't like that game. Yeah, the problem is they gave up 30 to the Eagles.
They did? Yeah.
The Eagles.
Yeah. That's a tough game at 2.5.
I would take Buffalo because if anything, I think Buffalo might win the game. But I don't know. I think this game will tell me if Buffalo's ready.
Who's Buffalo? They lost to Pittsburgh. They beat Miami.
They beat Houston.
Beat Houston.
and Washington.
And Washington. All right, so they've beaten nobody yet.
And the Chiefs beat the Browns, lost to the Ravens, lost to the Chargers, beat the Eagles.
Right, so at least Kansas City has played 3 halfway decent teams.
Yeah, and they were close in both their losses.
Yes.
By a total of 7 points.
So I'll take Kansas City this week. And you know me, I don't take Kansas City to cover hardly ever.
Yeah, you don't like them to cover ever.
No, but when was the last time they were at home laying less than a field goal in a game that Mahomes played?
Yeah. I think the Bills could be ready. Maybe. I think this will prove it if they're ready or not to get to a Super Bowl at least.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's move on to the Phantastic Five for the week.
Woo!
Is there any messages? I haven't really been checking, other than Kiana saying hi.
I think that might have been it.
Okay. Good luck at your tournament this week. Whichever one you're going to.
I don't know.
All right, so let's look at your picks from last week.
Last week.
You had Army Ball State over...
That game pissed me off. You know why? Ball State was winning 21-0 at the end of the first quarter.
They were?
I thought I had that easily.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell are you doing, Army?
They scored 9 points in the second half.
Thanks. I know.
I bet it. I bet it, so I know too.
I was pissed.
Yes. Yes, I bet the game myself, so yeah. Yeah. You had Michigan plus 1.5 over Wisconsin. Good pick.
That was easy.
Good pick.
Easy.
You had Rutgers. We don't need to talk about that game.
Their streak got broke of covering.
Yeah, we don't even need to talk about that game.
By the way, when they were down 14-0, I put a live bet in on them.
Oh, oops.
Get like 20-something.
Oops.
I think it was like 24, maybe.
Oops.
I was like, yeah. I figured Ohio State would slow down. I'm like,
Yeah.
That didn't work out well.
Oops.
Yeah, oops.
In the pros, you had Baltimore given a point, which I know you really liked them because they went into Denver and they were playing nobody. I mean,
Right.
Denver, who's played nobody so far.
Right.
It did help that Bridgewater got hurt in that game.
Slightly.
But hey, that's the breaks. And you like Green Bay -7 over Pittsburgh, and they ended up winning by 10.
10. They didn't look great.
They did not.
I'll admit that. They did not look great.
They did not. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron Rodgers will have a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey on next season.
I will cry if that's true.
He's definitely not coming back to Green Bay.
If he win the Super Bowl, retire.
He doesn't want to retire yet.
Then go to San Fran. Go to a team that's good.
There was a point in... Let me come back to us for a second. There was, in that game last week, and they've showed this over and over and over again on Fox Sports, where at one point Green Bay ran a play, and there was like a little bromance going on between Rodgers and the Pittsburgh coach. Like Rodgers looked over, and he just smiled at the coach, and the coach just gave him a, yeah. Like, yes. Like, I see you over there, cutie.
By the way, Josh said he loves the Phatts 5. I usually take all your college games and put them in a parlay, so let's be perfect this week.
All right. Thank you. Get other people to watch. You can really pool your money.
Let's say this week I did a lot better in the pros than college. I went...
Yeah, you and me both.
0-5 in college. No. And I would have went like 1-4 in college, and I went like 5-1 in pro.
Yes.
Like I did a lot better in pro this week.
But anyway, you will see Aaron Rodgers will not play for a team in the NFC. He will be
He's not play in the North either. He's going warm.
He will play in the AFC. So will he go to Pittsburgh or will he go to Miami? But if you listen to Aaron Rodgers' interview, he talked about how great the Steelers organization is. I'm telling you, there's a bromance going on here. Aaron Rodgers is wearing the black and gold of the Pittsburgh Steelers next season. You heard it here first.
That would be so disappointing. Go play for the Jets. There you go.
I wouldn't mind that. So anyway, you've now climbed over 500.
Yeah, I went 1-4 the first week, and then went 3-2, 3-2, 3-2.
And another 3-2. You have 4 straight 3-2s.
So what?
Yes, because you're 13-12, so you have 4 straight 3-2s.
Woo!
Now they are. I pressed the thing. I don't know why it wasn't. So sorry about that. So let's go back to your picks and do them all over.
All right, start over.
Start over. That just shows like no one writes anything in the message board because the picks, no one writes to us.
Yeah, I texted me that.
Oh.
And I just so happen to look down now.
It's weird because like I have a thing that shows like that I always keep on to make sure that the volume is on. And before I went up to that, I clicked it. I know I clicked it, and it's the bottom of the layer, so that one should always be on, no matter what I click above it.
Right.
And I know I clicked it. All right, go ahead. Michigan -3.5.
Michigan. All right, I think Nebraska is completely overrated, and you seem to think Michigan has a quarterback now.
Yes.
So I like Michigan to win that game by double digits.
Georgia, team total over 30.5.
As we said before, Penn State scored 28 against Auburn. Georgia's offense is definitely better than Penn State's. They easily score 31.
Rutgers +5.5. Going to the well.
Going to the well with Rutgers. Other than last week, they're doing a very good job of covering. They're playing Michigan State. Nebraska, who I said is overrated, took Michigan State to overtime.
Yes.
So I think Rutgers could potentially win this game. They may, but I don't think they do. But they keep it close.
Okay. We'll skip over Cleveland because it was just a hunch play for you.
Kinda, yeah. And
Baltimore -7 on Monday night against Indy.
Indy is bad. We figured that out. They only score between 10 and 20 points a game. I think Baltimore easily gets to 30. I think. Or they score around 30, so they win by more than 7. They win by about 10 to 14.
Got ya. All right. So let's go to my picks. Ohio State -21. We talked about when is the real Ohio State team going to show up. They've scored 50 points in their last 2 games. More than 50. They were in the 50s. So maybe the real Ohio State team is here. If the real Ohio State team is here, they blow Maryland out by 30. I agree with you on the Michigan game. We always seem to have one pick that we agree on every week.
This is true.
And this is it. I think Michigan's for real this year. They just completely leveled Wisconsin last week. I mean, Wisconsin, yeah, it was close in the first half, but yeah. The second half, they did nothing. Nothing. Oregon State is for real. This team is good. I know, no one on the East Coast really watches the Pac-12, Pac-10, Pac-16, whatever the hell it's called these days. The Pac-22, for all I know. I don't know. They go on the road, though, to Washington State. Washington State is back to their standard of not being that good. Oregon State covers. Then I got 2 pro games. I got Carolina -4 against Philly. I said Philly was only going to win 3 games all year if we go back to the NFL preview show. I had them only winning 3 games. Carolina did not look good last week against Dallas defensive-wise. Let's face it, the Eagles are not Dallas. Good bounce back. Very good bounce back play, taking Carolina -4. And this is almost an automatic play for me every year. The Giants seem to always play good in Dallas. Always. I'm not saying the Giants are going to win this game. I'm not saying that at all. But I cannot pass up a touchdown. A whole touchdown. With the Giants. Since Joe Judge, whatever his last name is, has been a coach at the Giants, they've only been blown out once.
The problem is their offensive line just doesn't exist.
Right. I mean, they lose, but they always seem to lose close. So I got Ohio State minus 21, Michigan minus 3.5, Oregon State minus 3.5, Carolina minus 4, Giants plus 7, and those are your week 6 Phatts Phantastic Phive. Whee! And we're back.
Woo!
On my thing, for those of you that don't know this, I know I've discussed this, there's, on the program that we use, there's 5 different layers that you could do. Like here, like I could put the Phatts Phantastic Phive logo up in front of us if I wanted to. I could put the Phatts TV logo up in front of us if I wanted to. Right now you can't see us because the Phatts TV logo is up in front of us right now. So like there's different layers that I could put up. And on the bottom layer, which is always the one that's there, because think of it as the basement layer, so everything gets piled on top of that, I have a blank black screen. It looks like this. That's a pretty black blank screen.
Yeah.
So when I go to something else, I always make sure I put up that black screen. Because I have the microphone turned on that screen. And I know I hit that. I know I hit that before I went to the layer that has our Phatts Phantastic Phive picks. So I'm a little clueless as to what the hell happened that the mic got turned off. Because what you don't want to have the mics on different layers, because then you could get an echo.
Right.
Especially if you don't have, if on one layer you have no delay and then on another layer you have a delay. Like an audio delay. So you only really want to keep the mics on the bottommost layer. And I have no idea what happened. But it's not the first time. It won't be the last. If anybody wants to donate so I can hire a production crew, super.
Donate to hire a production.
Yes. Because somebody's only going to college for TV networking and production and all that stuff. And
You have a problem?
no, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. So, Josh, I hope you win your parlay.
Yeah, good luck. Play the NFL one, you'll probably have better chance.
He's not going to play the Giants. He's a Dallas fan. He's one of the... All right. He's a diehard fan. I'm a Jets fan. My favorite team every week is the team I bet on. That's my favorite team. If the Jets were a good team, yeah, I'd be more of a Jets fan than the team I bet on every week. But for once, his team is decent.
If I felt like Iowa was going to win by 3, I would bet Iowa.
Okay.
I'm still going to root for Penn State.
So
I'm not going to root to make $10.
So again, your favorite team is the team you're betting on that week. So you're like me. Well,
like if Penn State wins, I'd be happier if Penn State won. But then, if I win my $10 bet, I win my $10 bet. Because that's what I thought would happen.
Ooh, $10. Ooh.
Not $1,000 better.
Oh, speaking of, I hit another $2,000 at the casino.
Yeah. Whatever. only hit like $10,000 in the last 2 weeks.
9,200 in the last week.
He's lost like 50,000.
62.5, but who's counting? But who's counting?
Who's counting?
Yes, we only ever talk about what we win, not what we lose.
I don't ever talk about what you lose.
Yeah, you don't talk about what you lose. No, I'm up a lot for the year.
I'm sure.
I think it's now 6 W-2Gs that I have to put income tax time.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and only one of them has taxes taken out on it.
Nice.
So yes, I am adding up all my losses though. So I because as long as you itemize, you can deduct your losses up into the amount of your winnings. So we will be itemizing this year, hopefully. Hopefully. If not, yeah, I'm screwed. Because with my winnings and what I make a year's salary, it'll be close to 6 digits. If not over 6 digits. Well, let's just think. On those W2Gs, there's 10, 14, 17, 2, 21, 2. Definitely 21,200. I have to think what the last one is. I might only have 5 right now. So those 5 equal $21,200. And I make more than 80,000 a year. So yeah. Yeah. This should be an interesting tax return. Good news is I've sustained some losses in the stock market this year.
Same, man.
Hey, GRNQ went up nice today. At least it was at one point.
I was up a couple $100.
It was up like 13 cents the last time I looked at it.
It's at 69 cents.
Okay, so it came down. It was at 73, I think, the last time I looked at it.
It came down a little.
Okay.
It got up to like 74.99. So
got it.
Almost just a tick under 75 cents.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and Kiana. That is our. By the way, do you get Rachel? You should get Rachel to watch this show.
Rachel.
Yeah. Bowler Rachel. That she brought with her to the girls' tournament.
Oh.
Should get her to watch the show. Yeah. You should.
Try.
You should. You should. She liked me, so you should. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Have a safe, happy, and healthy week. We will do the show next Wednesday again because the hockey season, I think, starts Tuesday. So I don't want to wait till Friday to do the hockey preview. So we'll definitely be doing a Wednesday show again. Probably around 8 o'clock if someone will want to go out and play disc golf unless if it's raining. So it'll either be 7 or 8. So stay tuned. I do post it on the Phatts TV Facebook page, the Phatts TV group Facebook page. I post it on my personal Facebook page. If you can find it, I usually link the Non-Genetically Proven Sons Facebook page. So, or just go to Phatts TV and subscribe and make sure you have your notifications turned on. And you'll get notified every time we go live. Hey, I'm going to Maryland on Friday. So,
I'm doing a lot of schoolwork and then getting probably very drunk on Saturday.
Cool. Just
because if we lose, I'm gonna keep drinking.
Okay.
Put out our miseries.
Okay. Don't worry about if they lose. This is a free roll for them this week. I'm telling you,
I want to be number 1.
It's they could go undefeated, and Georgia and Alabama could still have one loss, and I think they would still be 1-2.
No, if we were undefeated, we would be number 2 going into the playoffs because we'd face them anyways.
Yes. Yes.
As long as they're both undefeated going into the SEC title game, if one of them lost and Penn State was undefeated, Penn State would be number 2. And Alabama would be number 3.
Who would you rather them face?
Alabama.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they have a slimmer, better shot to beat Alabama.
They do.
But it doesn't matter,
No.
does it?
No, it doesn't.
Georgia, I think that could be embarrassing. Honestly, I want them to make the Rose Bowl. I want them to fall to 5. Make the Rose Bowl, because that means I get to probably go to Pasadena, California.
Nah, you won't go.
I'd be pissed.
Well, at least the good news is you're vaccinated, so you'd be able to go. Since, California is one of those strict rules.
Not bringing a card. Got a picture of it.
My guess is you won't go. but that's just my guess.
They'll take the whole band and none of the video crew.
Yeah, that's what'll happen.
Which would be stupid.
Yeah, so maybe you'd prefer them to play a bowl game in Florida, like the Orange Bowl.
Sure.
Yeah, or maybe even the Sugar Bowl down in New Orleans.
That could be fun.
Yeah,
Or just make the playoffs and win.
What you don't want is to have like that make it to the like Potato Bowl up in Idaho, because who wants to go to Idaho in December?
What you want to happen is this. You want Oklahoma to go undefeated. You want Alabama to somehow lose a regular season game. You want Georgia to win the SEC title game. So, Penn State would be number 2 or 3 and face Oklahoma. And then Georgia would face Oregon. And that's how we make the national title game. Because we can beat Oklahoma.
Yeah.
The problem is neither team is losing a regular season game.
Probably not. But you never know.
They're probably not going to not win by more than double digits the rest of the season.
Probably not. But you never know. You never know.
It'd be wonderful if that can happen, because that's the most ideal way to make the national title game.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we could win.
All right. We're out of time. I'm going to watch Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, because you didn't get a picture.
I'm watching baseball.
Oh, yeah. What's the score? You have it on?
1-0.
Who?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. Okay. I actually watched the entire game last night.
Wow. This is an exciting game.
That's my first, watching a full baseball game on TV since maybe puberty. Maybe.
It was a good game.
It was. Well, not if you're a Yankee fan like Josh.
Unfortunate.
I guarantee you he didn't think it was a good game.
It was exciting for a neutral.
Eh.
I don't like either team. Our team's going to get their butt whooped.
Oh, you never know.
They're playing the Brewers.
I know.
They have such superior pitching.
They do. They do. They do. All right. We'll see you next Wednesday for our NHL preview. Until then, wave goodbye to the good folks. See ya. Bye-bye.